In his relentless quest to complete the recipe for the elixir of life and save his ailing mother, Jinwoo embarked on a perilous journey to conquer every flaw of the demon castle. After countless battles, he and Essel finally stood before the towering gates of the 100th floor, the domain of the strongest foe yet. A gust of wind howled as the air grew heavy with malice. A wyvern descended from the shadows, its piercing gaze locked onto Jinwoo. But it wasn't the wyvern that sent a chill down his spine. It was the Demon King Baran, seated on its back, radiating overwhelming power. For the first time, doubt crept into Jinwoo's mind. Could he truly defeat this being? His eyes flickered toward the wyvern. It was no demon. Could he extract its shadow? The thought barely formed before Baran made his move. Without hesitation, the Demon King raised his hand, and the air itself trembled. A dark spell erupted, tearing open the gates of Hell's army. In an instant, the battlefield was flooded with thousands of demon soldiers, knights, and generals. Their collective roar shook the castle. Yet Jinwoo remained still, waiting. The demons surged forward, closing in fast, and then he struck. Monarch's domain. From the depths of darkness, Jinwoo's shadow army rose, catching the enemy off guard. Chaos erupted as the two forces collided, steel clashing, shadows tearing through flesh. All hell broke loose, but Baran was far from done. He summoned lightning from above, an unrelenting storm of destruction. Though Jinwoo and Essel were temporarily immune, his shadows weren't. The bolts ravaged his army, draining his mana at an alarming rate. If this continued, he'd be forced into a war of attrition he couldn't win. Jinwoo's eyes sharpened. He lunged to his target, the wyvern's wings. But before his daggers could land, Baran's long sword intercepted with monstrous force. With a single swing, Jinwoo was slammed into the ground. A deafening crackle split the air. Lightning breath, fast, unrelenting, nearly as quick as Jinwoo's speed. Before it could strike, Tusk countered with a pillar of flames, pushing the Demon King back. Thanks to the Orb of Avarice, Tusk's fire had overwhelming power, forcing Baran to the ground. The fight raged on. Jinwoo's mana dwindled, forcing him to rely solely on abilities that didn't drain his reserves. His top shadows, Tusk, Igris, and Iron, engaged Baran. But even their combined might wasn't enough. One by one, they were obliterated. Jinwoo gritted his teeth. Even his strongest attacks were being blocked. Baran grabbed his head. A flash of silver, the Demon King's long sword arced downward, aiming for a fatal blow. But Iron and Igris intervened, their strength halting the descent. Jinwoo saw his chance. In a blur, he drove his daggers into Baran's chest. Igris followed up, impaling Baran's arm, forcing him to drop his sword. With a monstrous roar, Baran unleashed his power, throwing everyone backward. Twin daggers materialized in his hand, the Demon King's daggers. Now it was a battle of speed and raw strength. Jinwoo and Baran clashed, their daggers flashing like lightning, striking and blocking with inhuman precision. But then Baran unleashed his lightning breath once more. Jinwoo braced, crossing his daggers to block, redirecting the deadly force skyward. But the impact was too great. His grip slipped, and his daggers flew from his hands. Baran didn't hesitate. With a wicked grin, he lunged, ready to end it. But before the fatal strike landed, Essel hurled a spear straight at Baran's face. The attack struck true, throwing him off balance. Jinwoo's eyes burned with unwavering resolve. He activated Commander's Touch, channeling raw power into his limbs. With a bone-crushing grip, he ripped Baran's arm clean off. For the first time, Fear flickered in the Demon King's eyes. Jinwoo ended it with a single, devastating uppercut, so powerful it severed Baran's head from his body. The Demon King fell. The ruler of the upper floors was no more. As the battlefield fell silent, Jinwoo raised his gaze and declared victory. The Radiru clan is now the #1 clan in the Demon Castle.